Welcome to Quantumly Kinky with Veda, where we talk about sex, Chinese medicine, and character development for the multidimensional you.
Episode 26, the energy practice that makes you a better lover, healer, and human. Welcome back to Quantumly Kinky. I am your host, Dr. Veda, and today we're exploring a practice that's ancient, erotic, and energetically revolutionary. It's called Tonglen. Tonglen comes from Tibetan Buddhism, and it means giving and taking. But more precisely, it's a breath-based practice of transmutation. You breathe in the pain, whether it's your own or the world's, and then you breathe out relief, peace, and healing. It's a Tibetan practice of transmutation through breath, where when you consciously inhale pain, discomfort, or even heaviness, and then you exhale relief, love, and spaciousness, it becomes this powerful way to alchemize energy and expand your capacity to stay open in the face of intensity. And if we think about it, most of what we're taught is to block, defend, and even protect ourselves from the heavy stuff. But Tonglen, it asks something different. It says, can you let your body become an alchemical portal for compassion? And of course, here on Quantumly Kinky, we're not just exploring it spiritually, but we're expanding it into the multidimensional realms. And of course, here on Quantumly Kinky, we're not just exploring this spiritually, but we're expanding it into the multidimensional realms, where breath becomes technology and sensation becomes code. Because Tonglen is not just a Buddhist practice. It's also a blueprint for kink, erotic energy work, and how to handle the pressures of life with a nervous system that's calm but turned on. So in this episode, I'm going to be showing us how this practice can help us hold more pleasure, more sensation, more power, more turn on, without collapsing. We'll see how it mirrors what we do in BDSM scenes, in energy medicine sessions, and even in the messy beauty of day-to-day expansion. Because after 2 decades of studying metaphysics, frequency medicine, energy fields, and all the deep mechanics and intricacies of healing, I always come back to the simplest, most profound tool that we have: the breath. It's primal, it's sacred, and it's available in every single moment. That's exactly why we breathe together in every episode of Quantumly Kinky, and not as a performance, and certainly not as a ritual just for ritual's sake, but because it's a calibration reset, a way to come back into coherence, to feel ourselves as both human and divine, to re-enter the body as tech and the breath as code. So today's episode isn't just about learning what Tonglen is. It's about living it, letting our inhale become a receptor for truth, and letting our exhale become a transmission of love. Are you ready? Let's take a deep breath together. Sometimes we think we need another technique, another tool, another breakthrough to finally unlock our next level. But what if expansion isn't about adding more? What if it's about returning to what's always been there? Breath. That's it. Tonglen brings us back to the basics. Definitely not as a beginner, but as a master of remembering. Because in a world obsessed with complexity, simplicity is power. So this episode is not about just learning how to do another breathwork practice. It's about realizing that we don't need anything outside of ourselves to alchemize reality. We breathe in, we breathe out. And suddenly, it doesn't feel like we're just surviving. It feels like we're thriving. We're expanding our nervous system. We're becoming a channel, a bridge between what is and what could be. And in a culture that tells us to protect, contract, shut down, Tonglen says, open wider. Take in the ache, the pressure, the grief. Let it move through you. And then send back love. This is like the breath of accomplishment, and not the kind that comes from effort or ego, but from choosing to stay open when every part of us wants to close. Letting that heat of life stretch us open, letting it fuck us into evolution, and still saying yes. Yes to holding more. Yes to being more. And yes to remembering that we've had the technology all along. It's kind of like an erotic trust fall with the universe. A BDSM scene between your breath and the cosmos. And I think sometimes it's also about not becoming more, but becoming less masked, less performative, less armored. When we expand into the next version of ourselves, we're not always building something new. Sometimes we're peeling something away. A layer of protection or a story, maybe even a contraction that we thought we needed to survive. And underneath that, it's just breath, just presence. And Tonglen is the kind of practice that reveals that truth one breath at a time. So let's take another breath together. I want you to think about this. Taking in discomfort, staying with it, letting it reshape you, choosing to respond with generosity instead of defense. That's some dominant level emotional mastery right there. And for all my switches and submissives out there, Tonglen, it's the ultimate scene of service and surrender. Breathing in our pain or someone else's, and then breathing out peace and love. It's like the best energetic aftercare for the entire world. It's the metaphysical edge play we don't talk enough about. This practice asks, can you receive intensity without collapsing? Can you transmute pain without identifying with it? Tonglen is not a passive practice. It's powerful. And it's a form of energetic fucking. Let's take another deep breath together. As a frequency medicine practitioner, I've come to see Tonglen as a scalar breath technique, a way of sending healing intention through time and space. The inhale gathers all the distortion. The exhale broadcasts coherence. You are literally becoming a tuning fork for compassion, a radionic field of erotic presence. And when you pair Tonglen with energy work, like acupuncture, breath work, or even orgasmic meditation, you amplify its signal. You charge the transmission. Because here's the secret. True healers don't fix. They feel. They allow. They alchemize. Tonglen trains you to stay open to everything. And not just the bliss, but the ache. Not just the light, but the dark. And that kind of radical openness, that's not just spiritual, it's somatic technology. It's the exact state that your body needs to orgasm fully, to receive intuitive downloads, and to slip into quantum timeline jumps where entire realities reorder themselves based around your energy. Because your body cannot climax if it's braced. Your soul can't whisper if you're clenched. And the future, it can't find you if you're shut down. So Tonglen is way more than compassion. It's capacity training for expansion. It softens your edges so more can flow through you. Pleasure, power, vision, codes. Every inhale, a surrender. Every exhale, a transmission. And suddenly, you're not just taking deep breaths. You're reprogramming your reality. Let's make this real. I want you to imagine you're at the grocery store. You see a tired mother snapping at her child. Your heart kind of clenches a little, your body tightens, your jaw, it clenches. Your instinct might be to judge, recoil, or even numb out. But what if, just for 10 seconds, you paused and you practiced Tonglen? You look at her and you breathe in her frustration, her overwhelm, the ache of all the unseen mothers. You don't take it on personally, but you alchemize it. And on the exhale, you breathe out calm, softness, love, a subtle but powerful energetic blessing. You don't have to say a word, but you did just change the field. Or let's say that you're scrolling on your phone and suddenly you feel that tight, blah pang of comparison or sadness. And instead of spiraling, you stop and you practice Tonglen. You take a long, deep inhale. You inhale the constriction, the self-doubt, the judgment of self, the ache, the comparison. And on the exhale, you feel space, kindness, truth, compassion. This is exactly how Tonglen becomes your real-time kink ritual with the world. It's energetic dom-sub play with your reality. Tonglen is like foreplay for your nervous system, training you to receive intensity without shutting down. You agree to receive, not react. You choose to be the transmuter, not the container. That's the daily magic. Tiny portals, big shifts. So babe, it's not about doing more. It's about breathing deeper. practicing Tonglen, getting into this real-time kink ritual with the world. Because what if the deepest medicine was the willingness to feel it all without shutting down? And I want you to remember, you're not doing this alone. You are a kinkster in communion with the universe. And this is the kind of turned on expansion that we were made for.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of Quantumly Kinky with Veda. Stay turned on. Till next time.